and amazing.
Got it. Thank you for sharing that. Would anyone else like to share what their perspective on this session, Inner Child Healing? Every perspective is welcome. We're just wondering where you're coming from and what you understand when you hear this phrase.
Okay, can I say?
Boli na sir.
I think inner child is basically, I think it starts from the conceiving till the age of maybe 6 or 8, where the child is very innocent and he is going through all the different experiences. And during those experiences, all the things, you can say the positive, negative, good experience, bad experience, all these things impacts on his mind. He may be able to express or he may not be able to express those things. And because of that, I think his personality gets developed. And maybe all these things, some traumas, some fear, some, you can say, other emotions get trapped. And slowly as he grows up, those emotions are still getting entrapped into his body or mind or maybe where it is. And then it impacts his, the further, you can say, the life. And those, particularly the negative emotions are more, if those are more, then it may create some problem, maybe in the relationship, maybe in the behavior and all those things. And even as we grow, still we have a child that I think everyone has to remember in his mind. And that child is expecting something, maybe the unconditional love, maybe unconditional things. And those traumas, those things, if is to be healed, naturally his behavior, his relationship will be different in a society. And particularly that will help that same person when he is going to heal his the traumas of the child, what he's facing. That's what I feel the inner child healing is, that basically.
Thank you for sharing that, sir. So, all right, let's begin. We are at 33 people now, and we'll begin the session. Thank you so much for attending. I am Sid Kullar, and my work is around metabolic wellness, which is weight, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and type 2 diabetes, as well as emotional wellness. Today's our, I think, Saket, we need to start keeping track of what number sessions these are. Today's number, 45 and things like that. Sounds so nice.
Yeah, I guess so.
We'll do that from going
We've
forward.
done quite a few actually. So
exactly. So a reasonable number bhi hai bolne ko. Anyway, today is our session on inner child healing, where you've heard the many different perspectives on what exactly is inner child healing. And our host, our guide today is Richa Das. Richa is a transpersonal hypnotherapist. She's got many hats. In fact, it's a wonder she's able to keep her head straight. She's a transpersonal hypnotherapist. She's a Reiki Grandmaster. She is an NLP master practitioner and an Akashic records healer. And within this, she's probably got covered a whole bunch of categories of modalities. I mean, for example, we've got energy healing on one hand, we've got trance-based modalities on the other hand, and then the whole NLP thing is somewhere in between. So this is very interesting combination, which probably makes it very suited to help many of us out through many of our situations. So she's going to be guiding this session, and so this session is going to be an interactive one, as you probably read on the events page, and is going to be followed by one of Richa's Divine Inner Child meditations. Over to you, Richa.
Oh, thank you, Sid. I couldn't have introduced myself better. Thank you, very kind of you. Okay, so welcome everyone. As Sid very clearly said, it is an interactive session. I love to be interrupted. This is something that I can even speak with my eyes closed. So please feel free to ask questions. The more you ask, the more you will take away from this session. The first half of the session, or the first 15 minutes or so, is just about an introduction about inner child. Several of you very beautifully, reflected your perspectives on it, and each of it was correct. So that is what we are going to be talking about today. As well as, I'm going to just give you a little perspective from a subconscious mind space and what is inner child from a subconscious mind perspective. There's a whole body of work actually on an inner child. And if some of you may have heard the coinage of the word shadow work has a very large component of inner child. Shadow work is a part of psychotherapy, and it has been coined by Carl Jung. So I do a large amount of this work in my hypnotherapy and Akashic records space. The meditation that I am introducing to you guys later today is a part of Akasha, but of course it can be offered to everybody. It came through to me in the Akasha, and I thought it is a wonderful offering for everyone to enjoy. And that's what I'm bringing to the table today. So without further ado, let me just introduce a couple of sliders to you so that, we can make it very, very interesting. Just give me a second. I'm running the slideshow now. Yeah. So I hope everybody is able to see my screen. Very simply, when we talked about inner child, it is about that part of our subconscious mind that started picking up messages before it was even able to comprehend what those messages are. I think one gentleman here did talk a little bit about it, that it begins very, very early in the childhood. It actually begins in the womb space, when the soul has entered the fetus. And it is actually a compendium of emotions, memories, and beliefs from the past. And this child space also talks about the future. It holds the promise for the future or the potential for the future. And imbalances in this stage of our personality, for want of a better word, causes blockages. I'm keeping it very, very simple. I am, literally bound here to try to keep it as simple as possible. What we are going to talk about here today is healing this state of mind, and it is called inner child healing. As I said before, it has its connotations in several areas of alternative healing that we've talked about. And almost every part that I do practice, I see parts of this being reflected. So it's my attempt here to simplify it for each of you so that you can, take away a clear understanding of this. And the understanding that is coming forward now is coming from a practice called transactional analysis. It's a part of psychotherapy. And this is where inner child is presented there in this state. Most of us have a little bit of an idea about the subconscious mind. I call it the ghost behind the machine, the genius supermind. This is the mind that runs our programming. It basically runs our body. We say the brain runs our body, but who runs the brain? It is the subconscious mind. It's a field around us, and it's not contained inside any cell or any part of our body particularly. And we also are aware of this thing called an ego, or a sense of identity. Here, ego is coming from Sigmund Freud's ego. It is just about an identity, who we are in this world. How do I identify myself? My name is Richa Das. I am 45 years old. This is my ego or my identification. That is where ego comes in, and this is what it is talked about. This part of our personality is extremely sensitive, and it can be come into a low ego state or a high ego state, depending on the experiences it is having and what it is taking in. We also have a concept of the higher self. This is actually a soul self. And from a metaphysical perspective, the higher self is actually not contained inside our soul on the earthly plane. It is actually in a heavenly plane, and it is connected to our soul at all times. This is that part of us which knows us beyond us. And it is a compendium again of every experience that we have ever had in any lifetime. So it knows all about us. And it is said to be the authentic self. It is the self that is not really conditioned by this world's conditioning. It is observing, it is listening, it is understanding. And among all of this, the fourth state is the inner child state. In each of us, there is a child. This child is never sleeping. This child is always there. For some of us, this is a hidden child, a very quiet child whose voice has never been heard, who's never been understood. Because even as a child, this child was not understood due to whatever reason. The parents could not parent the child. They had their own issues. Sometimes there was also, parental abuse or abuse of different kinds, which the child may have endured. And as a result of which the child has gone very, very quiet, does not speak. On the other side, you can have a truant child. A truant child is a rebellious one. The one who has again gone through experiences that were not very pleasant, and as a result of which is in a rebellious state. Someone who's probably addicted to different kinds of substances or different kinds of things. A form of addiction is actually a form of a rebellion as well of the inner child state. And between these two horizons, there is the balanced child state, which is the child state which a child which has been nurtured correctly will acquire, which has had the perfect kind of nurturing which may be possible. And that is the perfect child state. Let me take away that word perfect. Let's talk about the centered, balanced child. the one who knows what it is all about, the one who has this thing to enjoy life. Our ability to enjoy life also comes from the inner child state. If the fact that some of us, or rather all of us, have a capacity to enjoy sex, that also comes from the inner child self. We enjoy having an ice cream, or maybe looking at a balloon makes us happy. All of that is that inner child inside you, which is acting, which is talking about it. Yes. In addition to this, there is the three states that we talk about, the parent, adult, and child state, which is again an extension of this. The parent state is the state that we acquire, how we have been brought up. And that is the state which contains all our values and beliefs. It can be inherited from our parents. It can be a part of our culture. It can be a part of our upbringing. And then there is the child state, which is the one that we are referring to here, the inner child. And in between, sandwiched between these two states, is the adult, who we all are today. The adult, which is logical, which is asking questions, which is discerning right from wrong. If the parent state is disturbed for whatever reasons, we did not get the parenting that we deserved, the child state will also get disturbed. And as a result of which, the adult state, the state in which we are today, starts to get disturbed. And the person, the adult, will probably manifest some details of the disturbed inner child state. It can be in terms of heightened anxiety, fears, phobias, and it can also be in forms of addictions, in form of heightened mentally imbalanced state. It can be all of that and more. The person can also be someone who may be very strict, does not enjoy life at all, does not have any element of looking at life in a different way, and is very, very, for want of a better word, stern towards their outlook of life. That person also has a frozen inner child state. So this is a little bit of a background around, the inner child state. I welcome, questions from people if they have any perspective, any questions around it. Would love to hear from you and would want to clarify as we go along, because this is a very big field in itself, and I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. So I would love to hear from you and answer your question so that you walk away with a greater clarity. So over to each of you, if anyone has a question.
Hi, Richa.
Yes, hi.
Rachel this side.
Yes, hi, Rachel.
Hi. So my question is, are we in these three states at the same time, as the parent, adult, and the child state?
Absolutely. All of us are.
Okay.
The PSC state, as it is referred to in psychotherapy, is alive for each of us. It's just that the percentage, let's talk about numbers here. In a completely balanced individual, the PSC state will be at 33, 33, 33, if we take as 100 as a total. But in a disturbed inner child state, the number may be skewed. There are PSC questionnaires readily available online. You can do your own testing to see, okay, do I have a disturbed state?
Right.
To put it very, very simply, Rachel, if the person has not had an ideal upbringing for whatever reason, and we are not getting into any blame games here or any finger pointing here, for whatever reasons, either they did not get the parenting because the parents were there and yet not there, or the parent themselves were unwell, died early, or they themselves had a mental disorder. It may have been an undetected one. For whatever reason, that child was then not allowed to be a child. And hence their inner child actually never developed and never given the space that child deserved. And now we are an adult today. As per our biological age, we have now adults. Yet this is that part of us that's never been parented. And that's what we are all attempting to do here, to reparent that state, to rediscover that part of us.
Okay.
Yes.
I have one more question.
Yes.
How do you know if your child, if my child is inner child is okay or not okay? My daughter is 6. She's very mature. I mean, generally I thought it was like normal because she's like the third child in the house. But now I'm a little confused. Is there something that's going on?
If as a parent, if you are parenting her right and you're giving her all the love that she deserves, then do not worry about it. Okay. Some children are old souls also. So they can be quiet children to begin with, which is absolutely all right. As long as the parenting is being done right, their inner child state will develop as it is supposed to develop. Before we go ahead, I'm so sorry. I think Rachel was still asking a question. I hope I have answered your question, my dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Rachel, please complete your question.
Okay, so if a bad experience at the age of 16 has affected me,
Yes,
is that also considered as a wounded inner child?
it can become.
It
It
can.
can be.
At
Yeah.
what age does it stop? The
So
inner child.
actually, the child state stops only when we really become an adult per se. So from a legal perspective, an adult state is only after 18. So even the young teenage experiences can be termed as an inner child state. But in hypnotherapy, we treat it under age regression. But that's different. It does not matter from where it is coming. What matters is what's the effect it has had on you.
Right.
That's what matters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Thank you.
demarcation really doesn't matter to that extent for that matter. Yes, Prachi, please tell.
What is the online thing that you said? I would like to go take the test.
Yeah, you can just say parent, adult, child questionnaires. Or you can say transactional analysis questionnaires. Transactional analysis. It's a body of work from psychotherapy. And if you want to read up books on it, it's the name of the book is I Am Okay and You're Okay.
I am okay and
You're Okay.
okay.
It's a very beautiful book. If you're interested in these kind of things, please read up. You will love it. Very beautiful book. And there's another one called from Richard Bunn, The Games People Play. There's another one. So you can take up both those books. Both of them are on this part itself, the PAC state that I was referring to. Yes, Prachi.
And transactional what?
Analysis. It sounds like something from finance, but it is from psychotherapy. It's called transactional analysis.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's a body of work in itself. Yeah. We are just attempting to demystify this in a short period of time.
So when we are talking about this inner child thing, so does this last your entire lifetime? The impressions?
The taking care of the inner child?
Yes.
Absolutely. Does the healing last the entire life? Not really. Once you're healed, then you're healed. But you do need to look after the child. Of course you do. I continue to look after my child. So, yeah, she loves pani puri. So उसका तो demand आता है. तो जब आता है तो I give it.
So that is inner child or some cravings at play?
It can be inner child. We need to be able to know our sense of awareness needs to be so strong for us to identify कहाँ से आ रही है वो craving. कुछ बचपन का है जो पूरा नहीं हुआ जो अभी आप crave कर रहे हैं.
Can you throw a little light on this? कि ये कैसे identify करते हैं हम? I mean, that we connected to inner child or we don't connect it to inner child at all?
So when we go very quiet.
Behavior patterns and cravings both.
Yeah, so we will have to do a little bit of self-analysis there and understand कि ये आ कहाँ से रहा है. When we go very quiet and listen to our inner self, you will start to understand कि वो आ कहाँ से रहा है. And of course, you can always take help from therapy as well to understand, is this an inner child state? The biggest place that can give you an identifier is to find out कि आपका childhood कैसा था. Were you given all your cravings? Were you allowed everything that you wanted to allow? Or was that a very strict, regimented childhood that you had? If you had a very strict, regimented childhood, you may have more cravings in your adulthood. There's a possibility. Because जो चीज से रोका जाएगा, मन वही करना चाहेगा ना. It's that simple. Yeah? Yes?
Excuse me.
Yes. Prachi, you had a question? And I'm sorry. Yes, Prachi,
I
please.
just wanted to ask if you could explain a bit about the higher soul. I used to think it's the same thing as the soul, but I mean, I think you just mentioned that it's not.
Okay.
So,
no, it is.
thank you.
It's not that it's not. You're right in your understanding, Prachi. It's just that where it is supposed to exist, there are two dimensions in it. So our soul is where we are in our bodies. Okay. It's supposed to be a small percentage. I'm not even getting into how many grams and all that. I'm not getting. That's a different discussion altogether. But our soul, when we are born on this earth, we only come with a percentage of our soul's energy. The rest of it is in that dimension in heaven where our soul is supposed to be. Each of us have a different level of our soul. So we can be a level 3, 4, or a 5 level soul because that is the level which usually transcends on earth. Very young souls do not come on earth because earth is a very difficult school. It's like a middle school, one of the most difficult assignments in the universe. So आपका soul जिस level का है, उस level पे आपका higher soul रहेगा, the rest of the percentage. So want of a better this thing, say Prachi decides to, combat many issues in this life. She has decided to learn many lessons. So she comes with 65% of her soul's energy to earth. The rest 35 stays there in heaven. That is your higher self. That is that part of us which is untouched by all of this and yet is observing at all times. It is observing ki ho kya raha hai, aapke saath kya ho raha hai. And it has knowledge about every lifetime that you have led. It knows everything about it. And it continues to guide you. When we hear the voice of intuition, the gentle nudges from inside us, it's our higher self guiding us. Sometimes it's also spirit guides and masters. But again, that's another conversation altogether. Yeah?
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Yes, Dolly, what was your question, please?
Yeah, hi. Actually, I just wanted you to repeat about the questionnaire, about the transactional analysis, and there was one more little thing that you said.
Parent, adult, and child.
Parent, adult, and child is a questionnaire?
Yeah, just say parent, adult, child questionnaire.
Okay, thanks so much.
Most welcome. Most welcome. You can say that. Yes, I think somebody else had a question. Sushma, can a child abuse issue be deleted from inner child healing? I would not say the word deleted. The right word would be delete. You know, that abuse that has happened, when we undergo this healing, the soul will be able to understand what has happened and can delink the emotions with that incident. And when we delink, we begin to heal. Deletion means it never happened. That cannot really be the case. Yeah, but its impact on you can be removed. How do we know how much percentage should be? We will have to do life between lives or Akashic for that. Not in this session, please. Yes.
Okay, I have a question, ma'am.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, what best can I do as a parent so that my daughter's inner child is in the best state? Because like sometimes I give her all the love that I can, obviously, but then sometimes a parent has to be strict as well when she's not studying, when she's throwing a lot of tantrums, when she's not doing what I am asking her to do. So what best I can do to ensure that she doesn't face anything in future and her inner child is in the best state?
Ma'am, just love her. That's all. And I'm sure you're already a very good parent. Please do not doubt yourself. But the biggest thing
I love her.
The biggest
love her
gift
in all
that you can give, please hear me out. The biggest gift that you can give is looking after yourself. If you are a happy, well-balanced, centered parent whose own inner child is healed, you will be a very good parent to your daughter. And that includes disciplining her. That includes giving her the boundaries and yet loving her, yet making sure that she's aware that you really love her. So make sure that she's aware that you really love her and yet there are boundaries and yet there is discipline. Of course, all of that. I wish parenting could all be written down in a book. I think we all would be better parents. This still continues to be an area of challenge for me. So many a times I continue to work on my inner child. And I'm working on my inner child since a few years now. And I still discover some part which still requires healing. So my son continues to challenge me. That's what is the job of our children, isn't it? To challenge us and yet to love us, make us better parents. Yes?
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, my dear. Yes, someone else had a question? No? So can we all get into a meditative experience, please? I'm giving everyone 2 minutes. If someone wants to take a bio break, they can. In the meanwhile, all of you need to ensure that you're seated very, very comfortably with your back supported, your feet flat on the ground, or in Sukhasana position if you are seated on your beds or your sofas or somewhere else, okay? Make sure your ankles are not crossed. Take a minute or so to get comfortable before we begin. And in the meanwhile, I'm just running some music for all of you. And please let me know if you're able to listen to the sound over and above my voice. Is my voice audible above the music, everyone? Can I have some feedback on that, please?
Music is loud.
Yeah, music is loud.
Is this better? Or do you want, if you guys want, I can even shut up the music.
I think this is fine.
This is fine? Okay. Is that okay? Very good. Please get into an inner state. The best way to get into an inner state is close your eyes. Your hands need to be either in Shambhavi Mudra, if you know that. If you do not know that, then palms facing upwards, please. Or Shambhavi Mudra, which is this mudra. Very good. Be very, very comfortable. And you're breathing very deeply and completely. Make sure your breathing is happening from your stomach. So when you breathe in, you're breathing in through your stomach, expanding it like a balloon. And breathing out, you're collapsing your stomach. You're allowing yourself to relax. And you're allowing yourself to remember who you are as a child. You will now start to recall images from your childhood. This may be a series of images. You may start to now also experience a couple of images where your attention will stop. Allow those images to just freeze in that frame and let that be. Take some time to do this as you start to recall your childhood. Remember, it can be any state till the time you became an adult. You are remembering now a time of purity and innocence, when you were spontaneous. You are remembering this memory very clearly now. With every breath that you take, you are engaging your imagination fully, and you're allowing this memory to get stronger now. You are seeing yourself now at this age of purity and innocence, where you are whole and complete. A perfectly imperfect example of prime creator energy. As you continue to look at your child self, you notice a soft glow around you, around your child self, as if this child self is emanating light. You find yourself sitting down with this child, looking into his or her eyes, recognizing the purity, the perfection. This being who is an embodiment of unconditional love. Know that your child self offers you a gift of natural joy, creativity, and spontaneity. So you're going to spend the next few moments speaking to your inner child, this divine part of you, who's ready to give you a gift today. Continue to stay with your experience as you allow this music to take you in deeper and allows these conversations to commence. Stay with your experience. This is a moment of reconciliation, a recognition, a reminder of who you truly are. You continue to look into the eyes of your child self and then You start to realize that you're looking at the wisdom which has been gathered across lifetimes. You start to understand that such love is present for you, a complete understanding and a total acceptance of who you are. You experience a feeling of openness, of oneness, knowing fully now that this child and you are one and the same and cannot be any different. At this point, you will now notice that there may be other children around, other child selves of you. You allow this moment for all of these child selves to combine with this one self which is in front of you. This example of complete divine love, divine innocence, and acceptance for you. Continue to stay with your experience. If you are experiencing any difficulty at this point, just allow it to remain as it starts to melt away with this experience. If you are experiencing emotions well up, allow it to flow, as this is a part of your overall healing. As you continue to get lost in the eyes of this beautiful child, who may have an answer for you, who may have love for you, words of love, wisdom, compassion is flowing to you as you continue to look into the eyes of this child. At this point in time, the other child selves have all combined with your divine child, and you're hugging your divine child. It is an amazing feeling of love. Time seems to have stopped at this perfect moment. There is a feeling of stillness and nothingness. Stay with this experience as you keep going in deeper and deeper, as you start to merge with your child. Stay with your experience. Your child self seems to turn into light and starts to merge with you, making you whole and complete. Allow this merger to happen as you start to see light all around you, and you start to feel that you are a being of light. Every cell, muscle, tissue, fiber, and bone in your being is getting immersed in this experience as you allow your divine child to come back to you. You belong to him or her, and this child belongs to you. You are one and the same. Allow this merger to complete as you keep going in deeper and deeper and deeper into your own experience. You're now starting to feel happiness, complete relaxation, and freedom. Freedom to be yourself. Freedom to be a child again. Even though today you may be a parent, may be a serious adult in this world, but allowing yourself this moment of complete innocence and divinity, you're realizing that this light is within you. And you can revert to this innocent state just by closing your eyes and allowing this child to come forward. You're rejoicing in this moment of oneness, and you're being completely in the now as you keep going in deeper and deeper and deeper and still deeper. You're allowing yourself to be completely in the now. And as you look around, you realize, as you look into yourself, you realize you are this light. You are a child of light. You are love in action here. And you have invoked the light in your protection. And you do not serve the words of any that do not serve the light. Knowing that you are a child of light and love in action here. Come back gently and lovingly in the here and now. Come back. Whenever you're ready, gently, lovingly, come back. Please come back. Gently, lovingly, please come back. Please come back. I would recommend everyone to have a sip of water, anything warm if you have next to you. Water is perfect. And come back. Come back and acclimatize yourself to the three-dimensional reality. Come back. Thank you, Dolly. Yes, please come back.
May I say something?
Yes, Rashi, please tell me.
I did not see, I mean, when you said that you're going to see some images and all, I tried to imagine some of the childhood memories that I have. So I didn't really see anything.
Okay.
Is that
How
okay?
did you feel?
I think I slept in the meditation.
Okay. How are you feeling now?
Sleepy. I don't know. I don't think I could hear you. I was trying to concentrate, but I couldn't.
Okay. Happens.
Yeah.
And probably there's some level of healing that's required, Rashi.
Okay. And in the shadow work, ma'am, do we do inner child healing as well?
Yes. That's very, very deep work in shadow work. We do it in the Akashic.
In the Akashic. I'm mostly going to do the shadow work. So I also wanted to know, do I learn inner child healing in that?
Yes. That's a different perspective. It's in the Akashic records. It's a different perspective. Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Any views, questions?
Yeah, so it was very, very emotional. So
Yes.
I went to that to my childhood years when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very traumatizing experience
Okay.
for me
Mm-hmm.
because I was dyslexic and so no, just reliving the whole trauma. So it was very emotional, the whole
How are you
experience.
feeling now, ma'am?
Very light, very light. Thank you so much.
Good. That means the healing has been done. If you're feeling much better now, it has already been done. Because this is a very gentle form. Because we were in a meditative format, a lot of conversations with that inner child cannot happen.
Yes.
Those conversations do take place in other modalities where we are being guided or we are guiding ourselves into it. But this is a meditation format, and hence we were doing it through that. This format also brilliantly works, actually. I've seen it work very beautifully without any questions asked and any sound spoken.
Yes, it was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad that you had that experience and you're feeling much lighter.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else? Anyone wants to express their views? Any questions? Anything?
Hi. I saw a picture of mine, a small...
Sorry, my dear, I'm not able to hear you. I think there's something with the mic. And if everyone could please identify themselves, because there are several of you and sometimes I'm not able to understand who's speaking.
Can you hear me? I am Ashita.
Yeah, hi Ashita. Your voice is still coming disturbed a little bit. It's maybe an issue with your speaker.
Probably. I'm sorry. But am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please continue.
Okay, well, I saw a picture of mine as a small girl smiling, and playing.
Yes.
And I got stuck into that picture, and after some time, I started crying.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, while crying, I went into a sleep mode, and then I was fine. I mean, that is
how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling good and light.
Wonderful. So the work has been done. When we all started feeling emotional or started to cry, these are all releases. And if that has happened, that is okay. That's very, very good. Yeah. So if you are feeling that, wonderful. This thing is, how are you feeling now? That is what is important. Yes, that's what.
Thank you.
Yes, Baruna ma'am, I believe you got your connection broken between the inner child. I know Sid would probably be, uploading this entire recording on the Community Healers platform. You're most welcome to go through it once again, ma'am. So the entire meditation is getting recorded. Please go through it again on the Community Healers YouTube page. Yes, Avantika, you had a question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to share how I felt.
Okay.
So, I have actually done the inner child meditation a couple of times, and it's always been a very emotional journey for me.
Mm-hmm.
This time, when I met myself,
Mm-hmm.
I just had a warm hug, and it felt so nice, and it was a very, very pleasant experience.
Wonderful. That means all your inner child work has paid off. So that's good. It was meant to be a very pleasant experience. I'm so glad that you had that. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Hi, ma'am. Anchal this side.
Yeah, hi, Anchal.
How are you?
Very good. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much. I was surprised to actually see myself as a 10-year-old and feeling so much love for that child, so much love for that child. I mean, just as I would for my daughter. She's the same age as I saw myself in that meditation. And when I gave her a warm hug, the hug lasted for so long, and the feelings of warmth and joy and peace, they were so overwhelming, and I'm feeling so good at this moment. I can't tell you. Thank you so much.
Glad. I'm so glad. So one of the biggest advantages that we get from a divine inner child healing is that you will see your own creativity and spontaneity go up. And you suddenly may want to do some childlike things. Please do not stop yourself. Of course, do it very safely. Because we are all adults and we are meant to be examples. Yet, please indulge yourself. If you want to have an ice cream, please have it. Just watch your throat, of course. You want to have fun like me, please do that. Okay, so do all of those wonderful things, because though suddenly you may get a feeling or a craving, if you're getting all of that, please do it. Many of you may want to go back to maybe a drawing book or a coloring book or things like that. I have seen all of that emerge after these experiences. So if it emerges after maybe even after a couple of days, please indulge yourself.
Great, thanks.
Yes, wonderful, very good. Yes. Anyone else who would like to share their experience or would have a question, more than happy to answer. No? I hope everybody was able to go through an experience. I was able to hear clearly and go through the whole experience. I know Baruna ma'am could not, but.
Even I could not, ma'am. Rashi here.
Yeah, hi Rashi. Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Rashi. We will look at it. Do not worry at all. Yes, Dolly, ma'am. Yes, does that mean, is coloring meaning inner child work? It is that part of us that is the child which loves coloring. So please, yeah, we will all be children forever. Even I enjoy coloring. So yes, please continue coloring. Yes, Prachi, what's your question or your view? Whatever you'd like to say.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to share my experience that I actually felt I was with somebody much more powerful than I am. And I felt more protected, which I mean, and usually it's the other way around, right? That I mean, a child tends to feel more protected with an adult. I'm actually feeling very calm, and I don't feel like doing any childish things at all. I'm just feeling very, like everything is perfect. So I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. So yes, you're absolutely right, Prachi. Our inner child, and especially the divine one, is a very powerful being because it's perfect. No, it was created by the divine creator himself or herself. So it is a powerful being, and it's in its divine state is very, very powerful. When you get that love back, you really feel very good. So of course, you're feeling all of that and more. Yeah. So some of us, it's so what we call as childish may not be childish. It may just invoke in you a new sense of wonderment or being amazed by life. You may start feeling very wonderful about every small thing in your life. Then you would know it's the divine child which is talking inside you. Yeah. Yes, very good. Yes, Maya ma'am. Purple color between the brows. Does it signify anything? Yes, ma'am. That means you have connected to your to a higher state. And that's what it means. So good that you had that experience. How are you feeling now, Maya ma'am?
Very nice and peaceful.
I am unable to hear you.
Ma'am, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. Please tell me.
It was very nice and peaceful. Now I'm feeling calm. And
great, wonderful.
Other child self, you said I only could see my siblings only around me, merging with my own self.
I see. Okay, so you had a slightly different experience. You had what was needed now. Yes. You're feeling good now?
Yes.
Wonderful. So that is what is important.
Thank you so much.
Okay, wonderful. Very good. Payal ma'am, she controlled her emotions and she feels it's a big achievement for her. Of course it is. If that's what you feel, that's what it is. How are you feeling right now?
Very good, Richa ma'am.
Very good. So that is what is important. If you're feeling very good right now, that is what matters. Nothing else matters other than how are you feeling now. Yeah, wonderful. Very good. Very good. Archana ma'am, Prerna, Manvi, any experiences, views from you guys? Anyone else would like to speak up? Please do.
Richa, feeling good. I'm feeling good. It was a very good experience. I could see many lights.
Lovely.
Violet and white lights around it.
Wonderful.
All around me. And I'm feeling very nice after the meditation.
Very good. Very good. That's brilliant. Very happy to hear that. Yes, anyone else would like to? If you even have any questions, please ask. More than happy to answer. Sambi cried and hugged the inner child while emerging. I promised her I will look after her. Of course, and keep her safe. Yes, that's good. If you made that promise, then please ensure that you complete that promise. Yes, Prerna. What's your view? You're in mute, my dear.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening.
Hi. Good evening. Good evening.
So I missed on the session, I guess, today because there was some glitch from my side. Anyways, but I want to know something that you have already healed me beautifully.
Yeah.
With my Akashics and the healings that you have provided, and we have dealt with the inner child. So now if we keep on doing this repetitively, is it so that we'll be taken to different aspects of our own inner child which are unfolded, and somewhere we'll touch something which is still left to be healed? Is it so?
Yeah, if you feel that you've already dealt with your inner child issues, and if you feel that was wonderful, What we attempted today was to connect to that perfect child inside us, which all of us have, regardless whether we have dealt with the other inner child issues or not. So we only dealt with the divine child. The divine child is present in all of us, Prerna. So this meditation format that we practice today is available to everybody. And everybody can practice this. When we do practice it, you may start to experience what Prachi also talked about. She said she was feeling very powerful. That inner child is a very powerful being. You will start to realize that you are a child of light. If any of you may recall, my last words were, I am a child of light. I am love in action here. And I invoke the light in my protection. When we say that, that powerful being then comes into its complete light aura, or for whatever, that complete power, and you start to experience it. So this meditation is open for everybody, regardless where we are in our healing journey right now. So of course, on that view, you can continue to practice this.
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, my dear, most welcome. Yes, Rachel's experience was really peaceful and amazing. It's so amazing that the child remembers so much that as adults, we are trying to forget. Yes, the child self remembers everything about us. And you will start to remember many, many things that we do not know. Yes, Ashita, yeah. Okay, Ashita, is it okay if we talk about what you've written here?
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Is it okay if we can talk about what you've written here on the chat, my dear?
Yes. Shall I see? My son has got autism and he's got ADHD. So I do my best, in terms of being a mother to him. But at times we do not connect. If I tell him do this, he would not. Because there is understanding problem. He would not understand what I am saying. So how do I nurture his inner child in that matter? How do I deal with this?
Okay. You can nurture his inner child by nurturing your inner child perfectly. If you are a much better, more balanced individual, you will nurture him very well. That's one. Second, please remember, from a metaphysical perspective, children who have autism or any forms of autism are actually very advanced souls themselves. So you have to allow him his journey. What you can provide for him is the best kind of environment and atmosphere possible, which is possible in where you are. And from that perspective, be comfortable to say, I am giving him the best I can give. If you come from that space, you will be able to give him what he needs. And it will be all right. So you have to trust the whole process.
Okay.
And souls, I will come to that. Before that, Sonali has a question. Once I answer that, I have a question too. Yes, Sonali, what was your question, please, Nadia?
Yeah, I experienced a yellow light around me, and I'm holding myself. I'm like 5 years age, and I could very clearly feel my hair, my skin. I hold myself, and it was something I got so emotional, and my tears started rolling down, and I could feel after so long that I'm being really loved. Like, there's something, I don't know why this happened the whole time. And then I could see my son, maybe of 2 years of age, also merging within me, and 2 more people. And there was this yellow light. I don't know.
Yellow light. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Please.
Yellow light all around me. And that small childhood, 5 years of my age, like there was a bright yellow light. So I don't know.
Yellow lights, purple lights, these are all divinity around us. They can be our guides, they can be our masters. They sometimes identify themselves, sometimes they do not. They just appear as light. Because we were doing a divine exercise, that's the reason why you experienced it in that way. And the love that you felt is what it feels like. Divinity feels like love, because God is love, isn't it? So we touch a part of that and come back. And feeling emotional about it is absolutely a natural experience. How are you feeling right now?
Oh, very light. And I don't know, I cannot express myself, but it was amazing. It was just amazing.
So the work is done then. Wonderful. Then you have had the experience that you deserve today. Wonderful. Thank
you so much.
Very good. Yes. Prerna, we're coming to you. Shweta had a question, advanced souls. Can we expand this on a bit? So the what I'm presenting now, right now, is what has come to me through Akashic. I continue to do work here. And what I have understood is in today's times, autism, especially in the last couple of decades, we've seen more children come onto earth with autism and different spectrum disorders. That is usually
5 minutes, please. 5 minutes.
Yes, yes, sir. Getting there. So this means that these are souls that who have come to earth to change the vibrational frequency of earth, and they don't have previous karma. So they are usually pretty high level souls, and that's what we mean by advanced souls. Yes. So we're taking the last couple of questions here, being very cognizant of time here. Yes, Prerna, what was your question, please? You are still on mute, my dear.
I'm so sorry. My question is, like we all have children. So do we have any age barriers? Like I have experienced my child has been bullied a lot. This has somehow, suppressed him somewhere deep inside, although he has now come out of it in a certain manner. So is there an age barrier, or can we do any such workshop for kids also?
So inner child work is primarily for adults because they have to be able to understand the different states. But a version of something similar to this is done in neuro-linguistic programming for young adults, which we call as teenagers. So for teenagers, a similar kind of programming work is available. But what we presented today is done by adults because they have to be able to understand all of these different concepts.
I'll really request you to take that session surely, because I'm seeing so many teenagers, and they have been through a lot of aspects which has not been able, as parents, we have not dealt with them in the way they should have been. So I guess it's better the sooner they heal, the better individuals they'll be.
I will consider that. Thank you so much. Thanks for the suggestion. Thank you. Yes, last two questions, please, before we can disconnect. And Rashmi, to your view, as I said before, this whole meditation would be available on the YouTube channel for Community Healers. You can access it from there once it uploads it. It will also come up on Community Healers. You will get it as a message. Yes, last couple of questions, please. I hope you all enjoyed the experience. Saket, Sid, were you able to go through the meditation? Your views, please. We'd love to hear your views.
Oh, definitely, yes, a wonderful experience, and yep, it's totally in the same line that the less said, the better.
Okay, I'll take it as a wonderful feedback as always from you.
Oh yes, it is. It was a really great experience.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Sid, anything from you before we come to a closure?
No, ma'am, I was otherwise engaged.
Okay, no worries. That's not a problem at all. Yes, anyone else? Or shall we come get this to a closure today in the interest of time? So thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's wonderful. You are all very, very grateful for having taken out an hour of your time today and have attended this workshop. I hope it has helped each one of you. And may you have a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richa.
Thank you so much.
Please take care. God bless.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
My heart chakra is exploding with love right now. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm so glad. Keep all the love within and continue to distribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. Bye.
You all can continue to disconnect. I'm waiting for all of you. Please disconnect.